So you do know you can trade shares, right? We're making plenty of money inside of our public account, just trading shares, swinging them, not even going in and doing a bunch of charting and spending a lot of time. Because, hey, this public account was started to show you what can be done if you are a busy mother, if you're a busy father, if you're busy with work, you work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. That's what this public account is for. And it's to show you what can be done without risking a lot of money trading options, without being super, heavy time wise on charts and all this other craziness. This is what can be done. So let's check out the public account, see how we're looking.
Secure the bag, yeah, that's the brand, and we get to the bag. These products.
What's going on, family? It's your man Tay Sway here once again, and I'm bringing you another STB Market Watch. Now, today is Money Monday, and on Money Mondays, we bring in the public account. We basically go in and just see, what are we doing? What's the performance look like? What are we trading? Yada, 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 right? And we go in and we do exactly what, basically I do on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people have asked me for, like, oh, can you do some type of, live trading? And I don't really trade day-to-day or inside intraday. I'm more so of a swing trader, which won't work. So the best thing that I could do is just bring you inside of a portfolio and say, hey, here's the performance of the portfolio. It doesn't get any better than that, right? So, because who cares? First of all, who cares about what you're doing on the day-to-day if you're not performing? I need to see your performance, right, over time. So that's what the public account is for, just so we can see the performance over time. All right. Now, for my people who are new, welcome. Who am I and why am I doing these market watches? Well, I'm a stock trader, future trader, options trader. Crypto, whatever has a chart, I can trade it. Right? Whatever has a chart, I can trade it. And whatever is usually tied to some type of economics, I can trade it. I got my start in penny stocks. And I always tell people that because in penny stocks, it's essentially the worst type of stock trading you can do, because in penny stocks, these are companies that are trash. Like, they're trash. They're going bankrupt. They're not good. There's no good fundamentals. Nothing's good about them. And you still have to learn how to trade them. Now, how do you trade them? If they're all going bad, how do you trade them? Well, technical analysis. And you need to be really good at technical analysis to trade penny stocks. So that's why I got my start. And then I realized that when you go to companies like Apple, Tesla, the bigger companies, everything got easier. Why? Because these companies actually have good fundamentals. So you telling me all I have to do is watch them using technical analysis that I use for the crappy companies? And that's when things got easy for me, right? And that's what I'm doing here, is just bringing in that mixture. Because what you often see is a lot of people who are somewhat traders, they don't know how to trade technical analysis on companies that are trash, right? They're always leaning on the fact that this company is also profitable. This company is also really good, right? It's a great company, so I'm going to trade it, right? That's easy. To me, that's easy because the company's profitable. If you wait long enough, the company will go up, right? But with penny stocks, you don't know if the company's going bankrupt today, right? Today. So you really have to be good with technical analysis. So that's why I bring you just a little bit of my sauce on how I get down into trading the stocks and looking at the charts, right? So need a little water. So that's how we get it. And we're going to go ahead and dive into the public account. And then we're going to probably go through some charts. Let's maybe 2 or 3 stocks that's in the public account. We'll check them out. All right, family. So here we are inside of the public account. We are trading a few things, right? I caught a few things on some dip buys. And what I'm noticing is we got a lot of good stocks that are on sale right now, just based on the charts. And I'll go over maybe the top 2 or 3 that we have here. I see DPZ at the top, Alibaba. I definitely love that one. And I see Roku at the top. So what we'll do is we'll go over these 3 once we go into the charts. And I just show you what I'm seeing. And then, of course, we'll look at the S&P 500 and we'll break that down. Now, before we go to it and look at the S&P 500, what are we looking at for the next, I'd say, 7-8 months, right? And this is where I get into my macro watch. Where's the macro going? And for me, I personally think that the macro, we're going bullish, right? I personally think we're going bullish. I have a bunch of indicators that are telling me that, not just charts, because I also track cycles and what we call super cycles. I track super cycles. I track a lot of other things. Right, we'll just say that. So I track a lot of stuff, and a lot of things are telling me bullish. So we'll see about that. All right. So before we get into that, let's check out our gains and our losses. I want to be very transparent with this. All right. So in the spirit of being transparent, what do we have here? What are we seeing here? All right. So as you see, we have the date. Okay. This is the performance of May, essentially. This is mid-May. We're actually right in smack dab in the middle of May. It's the 15th today. And so far this month, we're up $1,500, right? Now, it's not a lot of money. Most people are not going to, retire making $1,500 a month trading stocks. I get it, right? That's not what this is about. This is to show you consistent, gradual performance, gradual, results, getting to profits, and to show you the percentages that are possible, right? Because, hey, let's look at this. This started out as a $25,000 account, right? Roughly. Now, that being said, $25,000, let's just say on $1,500 profit, you're looking at about, that's almost, that's about almost 5%. Or it's a little over 5% profit in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, right? So we're not even at 30K, and I'm kind of using 30K just off the top of my head. So if it was $30,000 in this account, right? $30,000 would mean $1,500 in profit would make that 5%, right? Now we're over 5% because we're not at $30,000 in this account. So 5% profit in 2 weeks, right? And then of course, if we go back and we just look at year to date, the year to date we're at 3,400, so that's 10%. We're up 10%, and this is before I actually came in. That honestly, that performance is just, it was just an account sitting there. This performance is not me actually actively trading it. So the reason why it was 3,400 starting in January, and then now in 2 weeks we're up 1,500, is because now I'm actively trading it, right? I'm actively like going in and out. I'm looking at the charts, and that's what I'm doing. I'm actively trading it, and that is why we're able to go. So imagine what this thing is about to turn into, right? So that's what I just want to show and let you know what I'm seeing, right? So once again, this is super simple. Once you know what you're doing, you have, guidance, you have somebody who teach you, you get the experience. It takes a little bit of probably like 3 or 4 things. Experience, because you need to back test and go through. A little bit of study time, okay? A little bit of study time. And honestly, somebody like a coach, some type of expertise, somebody who's already doing it. I'll just say that, right? I don't know anybody who makes millions of dollars a year who has not had somebody reach back and coach them in some kind of way. Not a basketball player, not a football player, not a tennis player. Serena Williams has coaches. Not Oprah. Oprah has coaches. I don't know anybody who's done it on their own, right? Not even me. I've had coaches. So once again, if anybody's trying to follow the millionaire path or the billionaire path, that's how we all do it, right? We find somebody who knows what they're doing, and it's like, hey, teach me give me the stuff that I don't need to experience so that I can get there quicker. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I just go through the whole thing myself. It's like, yeah, it's going to take a long time. I want to shrink the amount of time it's going to take me to get to success. And I want to figure out all of the hurdles and the stumps that, you go through along the way. Hey, the person who knows what they're doing already, they already did that. They can tell me. That's how I think. They can tell me about those hurdles so I don't have to go over them, right? I could dodge the hurdles. I could dodge the pitfalls. I could dodge all the BS because they've already done it, right? But honestly, it costs money. So for me, I'm willing to pay money for the shortcut. All right. So that's what this is. So let's get back into it. I said we will go over a few charts: DPZ, Alibaba, and let's keep it those two. So DPZ, Alibaba, and the S&P 500. That'll give us a good 3, so we can get out of here and keep this video pretty. I try not to go too long on these videos, but I know a lot of people have things to do. All right, let's get to it. All right, family. So we got DPZ here. We're going to start on a weekly and maybe even go into the monthly charts because I want to see the macro of where this thing is going. And I'm playing a little dangerous with this one because playing with fire because this is actually, you know, you could tell me I'm wrong. This looks like a head and shoulders pattern to me. So you got your shoulder here. You got like a little head in this area and then another shoulder. This is your neckline somewhere in here, right? I'd probably take it down a little bit more, somewhere right in there. So I am looking to see if that's going to break or not. However, this pattern right here, right? We are bouncing in between this. And there's some area up here that I need to see retraced, if you will. So I'm going to play a quick bounce on this. I'm not looking to stay in this super long, maybe a couple weeks. I'm looking for it to just continue to flow, you know, up and down, up and down, up and down inside of this. I kind of show you. I'm looking for it to, you know, here, 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 here. So it's a little risky for me because, I mean, at any given time, this thing could just blow out, right? Test and then come back down. But until it does this, I'm going to bounce it in between this. I'm going to bounce it in between this, you know, pattern. So, or in between those channels. So for me, I like it. So I just bought DPZ like early last week or late last week, excuse me. So I think our cost basis is maybe around like 305, 310, somewhere around there. And I may look to take it, you know, up and down in this until this breaks, right? When it breaks, I do think we have some downside to go. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep tabs on it. Let's look at the monthly chart. Monthly chart, same thing. I go out on a limb and say this would be your neckline here. Now here we've already broken the neckline, already broken. So once again, it's a very, very risky trade. I do not suggest people take it. I am doing this only for one reason and one reason only, because DPZ is a lower float stock and it moves like crazy. So, or it moves like, it ranges like crazy. So I'd like to see it one more bounce before we fall. And if we don't, I have a stop loss in place. This is what it is. I have a stop loss in place. I will take my stop loss and we'll come somewhere down in to test this low, right? So my ultimate price target on DPZ is for us to get down here to this 224 range, right? Come test that low. So we will see. We will see. There is gaps. Let's see. This is September 3rd, 2019. So we're going to go in here, right? We're going to find 2019, September, and we're going to say September 3rd, 2019. Boom. Okay, that gives us that. I want to see that area on a smaller time frame, which is maybe the daily is going to be the best. By the way, like I said, I'm expecting, as this little gap was closing, I'm expecting some more room. It's not done. That's why I say I'm buying for it to go back up real quick. I'll be out. So let's go back and see where my ultimate price target is on DPZ. Let's see. All right. And boom. So there's a few areas back here that definitely look like, yeah. All right, let's see what we have a little bit below this white line. Okay, it's making sense. It's making sense. We got a gap right in here. All right. And we got a couple gaps. This is a gap down here. So for those of you all who don't know about gaps, this is one of the things I like to look for, because the market likes to look to fill those gaps, right? That's just a little something I teach. You can back test it yourself to see if it's true, but you will come to find that yes, gaps like to be filled, and no matter how low or high they are, the market will, when it can, the market will head to try to close them, right? Look at that. Gap up, came down, closed the gap, literally bounced. It's just what happens, right? But yeah, we have gaps for days down here on DPZ. So for me, once again, I'm going to be looking for some movement down. I mean, we may come down to 139. That's, you know, that's very possible. This is very possible. We have this gap here, right? We have a gap here. So gap up. I would like to see it come down. So yeah, honestly, we might see this thing come way lower than I'm even expecting. There's just too many gaps. And this is on a daily chart. So these gaps, they want to be closed. And they're seen. They're seen. A lot of people are like, what if the market doesn't see the gaps? Oh, they see the gaps. Oh, they trust me. They're on a daily chart. They see the gaps, right? So you got your close trace there. Yeah, I like this. I like this. So it's playing with fire. Now, I may even hedge because, like I said, I do have some downside with DPZ. So I may hedge pretty soon, which is advanced. It's more of an advanced strategy. But I may hedge, seeing that we're kind of breaking this and holding it as resistance. I may grab some calls. Now, I only have maybe $1,000, $2,000 into the play. I may put another $2,000, $3,000 in a different account because I don't want to trade options here. I'll be honest with you, but on the public account. And the reason why is because I don't want people having to feel like they need to trade options. I'm trying to only show shares because I want people to know that you don't have to. Because people lose money trading options because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to time frame jump. They don't know how to do a lot of that stuff. So I don't want to show options. I just want to show just easy peasy shares, right? Easy peasy shares because I think a lot of people can get help from that, right? So I'm saying this because maybe more advanced option would be to buy puts against this and watch it do its thing, right? So that's what I'd be looking for on a longer term basis as a hedge because I see at least $150 drop. So it's gonna be a nice on puts, right? Nice on puts. So that's what I'm seeing on DPZ. Let's check out Alibaba. Same thing. I mean, this thing is gap. I mean, it's gap heavy. Gap heavy. Let's see. So looking at this big drop here. Now this one doesn't follow waves as much because it's manipulated. It's manipulated. I don't often see many waves on the smaller time frames. Now you do have waves on like the larger time frames. Still give you a little wave pattern, but some stocks don't give you waves if they're manipulated, like pretty heavy, like smaller cap stock or small cap stocks, but small float stocks, more lower float stocks. They're more manipulated. They're heavily manipulated, so they don't technically follow the wave patterns that I like to use on more solid stocks and derivatives. So that being said, I do see that Alibaba had a long time trend line. This is something we use in penny stock world, right? We like trend lines or what we call speed lines, right? So this is a speed line. It went for a minute, but it looks like it broke. It's trying to hold support. I like this move here because this looks very bullish to me. I'd like to see this play out really soon. Boom, boom, and who knows? Might even try to come up and test this 316. Now that could take up to a year or two for that to happen, but I like this move. What I'm seeing, this looks bullish to me. Also on the daily chart, we'll go over here. Let's see. Daily chart. Yeah, we got plenty of gaps to close. I like this one. Just starting out. So yeah, PT maybe 160. Looks good. You got shares, you just hold them until it hits 160. Right? This is just some of the easier stuff that I teach, right? I just want to show this pretty easy. And I like this. So that's why Alibaba is in the shares account or the public account. And we'll see what we'll do with it, right? But I definitely like this. Definitely like this. So that's why I'm going on that one. And then from there, let's get into our ES. All right. Boom. All right. So looking at the ES, what happened over the weekend, right? Let's go to our hour chart. What I see going on the ES is bullish. It is bullish, right? And what I'm noticing is this move right here. Good God. Boom, boom. That looks like a wave 3 to me. And it could even go higher, honestly. This wave 3, that could be like 1 of 3, 2 of 3. We can get a 3 of 3, 4 of 3, 5 of 3. Yeah, this thing can go up to like 4190, maybe. 4190 is what I would expect. Maybe even higher. maybe even higher. And the reason why I say that is because 41.90, if we can get over 42.06, the reason why I'm saying maybe even higher, if we can get over 42.06, I have price target at about 40, I want to say 42.30. Just off the top of my head. I'm going to go back and see if I can find that area. But yeah, like I have some price targets up here. 42. Yeah, I'd like to see it try to come up here to like that 42.30 and hold or at least test this top, right? So that's where I see it going. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Right? I don't think I am. So I like this. It looks bullish. I am a fan of it right now. To the upside, at least. I will be watching for rules to be broken, but until they are, right now, this is an upside trajectory. Now, once again, stocks have to be maintenance or maintained, excuse me. They have to be maintained. What does that mean? You have to be careful listening to anybody, me, any trader analysis, right? Because what a lot of people tend to do, because they like the easy way out, what a lot of people tend to do is they will listen to my analysis or somebody else's analysis and they say, man, he's bullish, right? But what about you needing to maintain this move? Because it could be bullish until it's not. It could be bullish until a rule is broken because the market moves in rules, right? It moves in rules. There's a system in place and there are rules that have to be followed. If you don't know the rules, then you're going to lose, right? So for me, I can tell you right now and this is just me trying to help you all with a lot of these other gurus, right? I can tell you all that I am bullish as all get out, right? And I can say, hey, this thing's going to 41.90 and then we're going to move past that and we're going to 42.30. I can say that and then you could go, oh man, Tay's bullish, right? But then what can happen is, here's an alternative route. But then what can happen is, yes, this is 1, 2, it looks bullish. But what can happen is we can go into like 3, and then one of the rules is that you can't come back under here, right? And then boom, but because I said it was bullish, you'd be like, man, it don't matter that Tay, Tay said it's bullish. It don't matter that it came back here. Hey, it's bullish. And what usually happens is, as it falls, it's like, man, it's cheaper. And if Tay's bullish and he knows it's going up here, man, I'm going to get it while it's cheaper. So what you do is you average down in this area. I know y'all. I know how y'all move. It's okay. So it breaks a rule. It comes down here and you say, man, it's cheaper. Because at first I got in at 41.53. Now it's at 41.30. Man, that's 20 points cheaper. Let me get some more. And a lot of times you get even greedy. You get more greedy, right? And then what happens is because it broke that rule, it does one of these. You're like, oh, we get ready to go up. And then it goes bang, right? Now, I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've seen it plenty of times. And that's why I have to come in and say, hey, y'all got to be careful. That's why the education is super important. I know people just want to, hey, man, just hold my hand and tell me what to buy, tell me when to sell. But I need you to have the education to know when you're wrong, to know when all of us are wrong. That way, even if I tell you what to buy, you know when to cut that loss because that's what the market is about. The market is not about being right 100% of the time. It's about being less wrong than you are right. And what that means is I could be wrong 50% of the time. It could be 50-50, right? 50% of the time, I'm wrong. 50% of the time, I'm right. But when I'm wrong, as soon as I'm wrong, if I cut that loss and all of my wrongs, let's say that we do 100 trades and 50 of them are wrong. If all of my wrongs were cut as soon as I was wrong and I only lose, let's just say $100, cool. And then my other 50 rights, let's say I make $1,000. Every time I'm right, I let it run and I'm right and I make $1,000. That means we have $50,000 in profit from 50 trades of being right. And then we got $5,000 worth of losses because as soon as you were wrong, you cut the loss at $100 loss, right? So 50,000 profit, $5,000 loss, that nets you $45,000 profit. This is how we trade. This is how it needs to work. And this can only be done if you come over and you study, you learn how to pretty much identify when you're wrong. And if you can learn how to identify when you're wrong, you can cut that loss real quick. And you can get it out of there, right? Now, this is a life lesson because you need to know when to cut losses in life, right? I'm going to tell y'all a quick story. We're going to get out of here. You need to know how to cut losses in life. And the reason why I say that is because guess what? I was married, right? I was married before my current wife. I was married to someone who was about to drag my whole shit down, if I'm being honest with you, right? Drag my whole shit down. And if I didn't know, hey, this ain't working, cut the loss. If I didn't know to cut that loss, I could have lost a lot of money. And the reason why I say that is because due to the environment of the household, right? It's not to say she was a bad person. No, but it's the thinking, right? Some of us are dealing with family members who have a different type of thinking. And a lot of times the thinking is just not aligned. It's not in alignment, right? It's not in alignment. So for example, you know, she wanted to, let's just say she wanted to have children. And it's like, hey, I want kids. And it's like, okay, well, I make enough money so that, you know, our kids can be raised by their mother, right? So when you pop out those kids, I want you to, you know, make sure we raise those kids, right? I don't want someone else raising my kids. I don't want, you know, sending them off to nannies and sending them off to, you know, different daycares all day because you want to go to work, right? She's like, no, like I'm a career woman. I'm going back to work. I'm pop them babies out. I'm going back to work. Even if you can afford to take care of all of the bills, I'm going back to work. Right? I'm like, no. That's not good for my mental, my heart. It's not good for anything, right? And when my mind is, you know, kind of jaded, or when it's kind of like floating up in the air, like, man, I don't really want that. I don't really want that. My trading suffers. My decision-making skills suffer because there's no peace in my household, right? So once again, stop loss. I had to hit that stop loss. Nope, this is not gonna work. We gotta kill this, because that's just one scenario. But I'm sharing this stuff with you because I know somebody's going through this right now and I can help, right? So this is what I say is important, because stop loss and knowing when to cut your losses is very important. It's important in life. It's important in stock trading. It's important in business. It's important in dieting and your health. You need to know when it's time to cut what you eat. You need to know when it's time to stop gaining weight, right? Because you're about to take a loss, a bigger loss. Right now, you're just getting big. But what if that turns into a heart attack? What if that turns into diabetes? What if that turns into cancer, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Stop loss. It needs to be done and applied in life. So that's what I teach. I teach you to know when things are not going so well and you need to cut that, okay? That's what we do inside of STB. That's what we do in the STB Discord. I'm always trying to teach you how to know when it is a loss, a rule was broken, you get out of there. And then on the opposite side, when things are going right and it's going up, how to stay in and know that you're going up, right? That's what we do. So that's my time for the day. I hope this was helpful. I really do. Hope it was helpful. This is something that I always aim to do for all of my people who really want to, level up in the market, level up in life, right? Because once again, I tried to show you all that life and stock trading, they go hand in hand. Relationships, they go hand in hand. This wasn't me trying to be a relationship coach. This was me showing you that, hey, relationships and stock trading are pretty much the same thing. If you have a trash relationship or you don't know how to navigate that relationship, navigating the stock market, it's going to be tough because it's all a bucket of emotions, right? That's it. And what I was trying to attempt to do is show you, hey, if I can get you emotionally stable in your relationship side of things, I can also bring you over to the stock market and make a killing. Like, I can make you a lot of money because you're emotionally stable. But of course, it doesn't work for everybody because not everybody wants to talk about relationships and everything else, right? Most people want me to box in and tell you, you trade stocks, stay right here, big dog. I'm like, okay, but I'm trying to show you, like, they go hand in hand. So anyway, that has been my time for today. This is another Money Monday where we go in, of course, and we check out the public account. Other than that, I just want to say let's get some money this week. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Secure the bag, yeah, that's the brand, and we get to the bag. These